Hello everybody and welcome to the start of our Football Manager 2019 main series save. This is going to be the save that sees us from now until pretty much this point next year when the FM2020 beta is released, and it is going to be a journeyman save where we start from the very bottom with basically nothing and try to work our way up the footballing ladder to be a top manager. So as you can see, we're starting with Sunday League football experience. We've got basically, or we have no coaching badges, and we have basically no reputation. As you can see here, it's described as minimal. That's being a bit generous, really. Like, there's a tiny little slither of yellow, but we're basically unknown. We're basically just a football fan who wants to be a manager at this point. And yeah, we have every single league loaded, so we really are going to have job opportunities to try and build ourselves up. And I think this is going to be a really fun save. I've never done anything like this before. Not where I've started this low down. I've done journeymans, but not where I've started with nothing. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And before we go on, just a bit of information about how this series is going to work. So videos are going to go up at 5:30 PM every single day. Each video is going to contain roughly 2 games. It's going to be about 20 minutes long. There's going to be the odd exception, such as this video, which is just going to be an introduction to the series. There's not going to be any gameplay in it, and maybe the odd transfer special, you know, later down the line. But the majority of videos are going to have 2 games and be about 20 minutes in length. I'm going to bring you every single game. That's the way I like to do things. So I bring you every single league game at the very least. I bring you cups when the cups get interesting. When you stop being like, oh, we've got a cup game that we've got to play. That's when I start bringing you the cup games. So basically when you get to like semi-finals, quarter-finals, finals, that sort of stage. But other than that, there's going to be a lot of football to be seen. I want this to be a journey that we go on together, where you can sort of get attached to the teams and the players in the same way I do. So other than that, anything else I need to tell you? All games are played in 3D. I'm not sure if that matters to anyone, but that's the way I like to view the games. So I hope you like that too. I think the majority of people play in 3D, but I'm not 100% sure on that fact. So if there's anything else that pops into my head later down the video, I'll be sure to mention it. I'll just randomly spurt out facts like, hey, videos go up at this time. So until that point, we're going to go and try and find a job. And if we go over to the job centre here, you'll see that there are some available. A lot of these are going to be out of our reach, I'm not going to lie. And I'm not sure what is going to be out of our reach, but if we just go back a second, these are our stats, right? So 2s and 1s, 2s and 1s, right? Let's go back forward, and let's just pick a random job, right? Let's go for the Indonesian League 2, right? This guy, Mundari Kaya, is tipped for the leading candidate for that job. He's far better than us. His reputation's minimal too. But he is far better than us. So I'm hoping we can find a job. There's a lot available. Some of these, by the way, some of these leagues are already underway because of their league fixtures, because of the timing of their league, basically, their schedule. So like the Indonesian League 2 is already well underway. But some of them, like, well, obviously most of them, like just go with the Bulgarian First League, hasn't started yet. So yeah, who knows whereabouts we're going to come out and basically where we're going to be managing. So I'm going to go off, I'm going to go apply for a few jobs, and I'm going to come back to you when either we have some interviews or something like that. And yeah, basically when something interesting happens, that's when you'll see me again. So I have been applying for jobs, managers have been getting hired and fired, but 2 teams which I actually haven't applied for, Queen's Park and Stirling Albion, both based in the Scottish 2nd Division, I believe? Ladbrokes League 2, so I think it's the 3rd tier. From what I understand, yeah, it looks like it. So the 3rd tier in Scotland, basically, 2 teams have basically came to us and said and offered me an interview. So let's go and have a look how this is going to go. I just want to have a look what they're aiming for real quick. So Queen's Park wants a top half finish. They have insecure finances, no wage bill, but great training facilities. So let's go and see what this one's all about first. So glad you've given me the chance. You've never managed a club team before. I haven't been in management that long, but it's something that's always been very near the top of my ambitions as a manager. I think management would be the top of everyone's ambitions as a manager. Yeah. Let's go with that one. Weirdly. Why you appear to be in the running for quite a few jobs, trying to forge ahead with any means necessary. Are you comfortable managing a team in considerable financial trouble? I'll say yes. That might be a lie. What you'd like to make... Changes you'd like to make to the backroom staff. I mean, if they're in trouble, They probably want a couple sacking off, right? I'd rather wait until I'm able to appraise them in a working environment. I don't wish to propose any changes in advance to taking the role, so no budget will be required. They want young players for the first team. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. You have no money. You're not going to get first team young players for no money. Club to be finishing in the top half. I'll just say I'll meet it, because I don't know how easy that's going to be. No other requests. Okay, that's that one done. And now we have the Sterling Albion one. Now again, let's go through the same process of just checking what the job advert actually states they want. Okay, it's the same thing. They want a top half finish. So, let's see if they ask for similar questions. Haven't been in management that long. I think you should overlook that fact because you came to me. Trying to forge ahead by any means necessary. Don't wish to propose any changes in advance. So these seem to be less in trouble. They still want to sign young players for the first team. They're opposed to developing players using the club's youth system. But why? No philosophies. I'll just say again, I can meet those expectations. Transfer budget? Yeah, that's fine. I wasn't expecting a transfer budget or a wage budget, to be honest. No request to propose. Exit. Okay, so that's those two. That's my first two interviews done. As you can see here, we've been applying for a few jobs around in Europe, Bulgaria, Austria, Slovenia. There was one in Slovakia, which we didn't get. We didn't actually even get the interview for it, so it's a fresh... I'm after a fresh start. There we go. So, yeah, I'm going to keep pressing on with this then, and I'll bring it back to you when we have any more news to report, I suppose. So, the Ladbrokes League 2 seems to really want us, as Berwick Rangers have also offered us a job interview. So, let's just double check what they want. They want... Keep the team clear of relegation. Now, that sounds, in theory, a little bit easier than the mid-table finish. So, let's attend the interview. Glad you've given me the chance. Not been in management that long. This is getting a bit monotonous now, but trying to forge ahead by any means necessary. I don't want to lie. I'm just going to say I want short-term success. I'll be able to look after the finances. I don't wish to create any proposed changes. No philosophies, thank you. I just want to win games. We would expect you to secure survival and ensure relegation. No, let's just say I can do that. That'll do. That'll also do. And no requests. I honestly don't care about the long-term future of this club. I don't plan on sticking there very long. I want to set them up to be able to improve, not to take them there myself. Unless maybe we will. Maybe we will take some random club to be the best team in the world. Who knows? But again, I'll hop back to you when more interesting stuff happens. This is difficult. I'm not gonna lie. We're getting rejected a lot. Exciting times here then. The first club has approached us. Berwick Rangers, the last interview we had, have came forward and said they would like to take us on. So, before we accept, let's go into a little more of a look around of the club. So, these were expecting to avoid relegation. So if we just go to the Ladbrokes League 2 real quick and take a look at the season preview, you see we're expected to finish 9th. And if we just take a quick look at the rules of the competition, whereas bottom team qualifies for the relegation playoffs. So as far as I can tell, all we have to do is not finish bottom, which seems doable, in all honesty. If we just go back to the rules really quick, how many clubs get promoted? The top team wins promotion and 2nd to 4th qualify for a playoff semi-final. Okay, so basically we just need to finish as high as possible. Now, there's 36 games, each team plays each other 4 times, as is standard in Scotland. The league goes from basically August till May, similar to in England. And other than that, there's nothing Nothing drastic. No more than 2 players who are on trial I don't foresee being an issue. Trialists can play in 3 matches. Again, that's not really going to affect things, I don't think. Goal difference is the sorting rules. That's worth noting. But other than that, nothing seems too weird. There's some loan rules down here. 5 domestic players. Okay, so just don't loan in too much, basically. Under 23s may be allowed to play for the Parents Club reserve team while on loan. That's odd, but okay, sure, whatever. But there's nothing too strange there. So, all this considered, I'm thinking we take this job because you might see, by the way, Ladbrokes League 2 reputation 130th, right? Now, if we just go to the reputation lists, if we have a look around some of the other teams I was applying for, you may have noticed, I mean, how far down does this go? Okay, it's just a bunch of leagues which aren't in the game, like the Romanian lower league and a load of Irish leagues and stuff like that. I don't actually know. Wow, Spain. Just calm down. I'm assuming they're all the same tier. Same with this, as you can tell by the lettering system. They're all the same tier, they're just different level, like different regions of it or something along those lines. But yeah, a lot of the teams we were sort of going for were, like the Romanian third league, for example, is 109th. It's higher than what we were looking for. So maybe this is basically as high as we can go right now until we prove otherwise. So I'm thinking we just take this job, we get some experience under our belt, and then from there we can try and branch out into other clubs, basically. Or, if things go well here, maybe we can stick around. But either way, let's finalise the deal. And, yeah, let's get skipping ahead and let's have a look at what we've got to work with. Top ability player, Paul Willis, right? A right winger. He's not as dreadful as I thought. He has 6 stats over 10. Thankfully, he can play out on this wing or in the central area. This is our best player. He's valued at 3k. Also, this yellow does not go well with the stars. Sorry if that's hard to see. Not sure why I'm apologising. It's not my fault. I didn't choose the colour scheme. But, yeah. Ross Brown. Central midfielder or... Not only is our 2 best players... They're not fantastic. I mean, just look at him. He has, what, 5 stats? 4 stats over 10? But they play in the same position. They both play at right midfield. This is going to be awkward. Is he in on loan or out on loan? He's in on loan from Dundee. And he's our striker, is he? Okay. He's a midfielder. He's... This is going to be difficult. I'm going to go ahead and try and slap together something that resembles a team and then bring it back to you once I've sort of figured out what I want to do in terms of tactics. So, yeah, be right back. So, I was just putting together a team. I was seeing how we fitted into a 4-4-2. You may notice there's a couple of gaps, namely at the fullback positions. I've picked out a slight problem. Our only right back is our central midfielder, Ross Brown, who can't really play there. It's fairly safe to say he's not overly strong there. And our only left back is, again, our left winger, who, again, isn't overly suited to play there. We don't have any fullbacks. It is a minor issue. It is a bit of a problem, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to go out and try and find some fullbacks. So, yeah, I don't know if this is the system we're quite sticking with yet. It's definitely not going to be on controlled possession, that's for sure. But it's causing problems. So I was just taking a quick look at the team report whilst I was out looking for fullbacks. And as you can see, you can't scroll down on this list. This one, on the other hand, you can scroll down a lot. There are a lot more weaknesses than strengths, but the most interesting part to me is some of our strengths are also weaknesses. So midfield depth, for example, is a strength and a weakness. Defensive depth, strength and a weakness. Like, formations used, or formations faced, sorry, again, strength and a weakness. And the best part is there's a 4-2-3-1-0. I'd assume it's the same as a 4-2-3-1, but who knows. So, yeah, I'm going back to looking for players, but I just wanted to point out to you, We're not a very good team. This is going to be really weird. Also, we're not even professional, which I've only just realised. So another issue I've sort of found, while I've gone out looking for players, a lot of them are free agents, so they haven't played in a while. If we go to this guy here, Karen Forbes, he hasn't played for ever, actually. So if we go back to him, I don't know any of his stats. So I was like, oh, let's go and get a scout report on him. Oh, a signed scout? We don't have a scout. We have coaches. Our coaches have to go and do our scouting for us. This save is bizarre. It's by far the weirdest situation I've ever been in. I'm going to end up signing players with no idea of how good they're going to be, and it's going to be a disaster, and I can't wait. So I just had a little bit of a laugh at this. It's recommending I follow the World Footballer of the Year, the Golden Ball, the World Cup. I don't think any of these are remotely relevant to us right now. I just found it quite cute how it's like, you should follow the World Footballer of the Year. It might be relevant. Like, no, it's not going to be. Don't worry. So I was just looking at the results of our friendly. You'll see we just beat Darlington 1-0. And essentially, I found this Betfred Cup is here, and I'm not going to bring you this because it looks incredibly boring, but we can't get out of it, so I'm going to play it. I'm going to get a chance to see what our squad is made of. And yeah, I'll come to you probably at the end of that. It might be at the start of the season. Basically, next time we have an update, I'll let you know what went on in bat. So, catch you all then. So we have had a couple of players come in then, and the beauty of managing at this level is I can show you the players and you still have no idea who they are. So the first of these is Daniel Crisp. He can play both fullback positions. I had no idea how good he was before bringing him in. I just saw the fact he could play both positions and was sold because I'm like, well, at least he can fill in if we need him to. He's a left back and a right back, and he's not great, let's be honest. He has decent pace and acceleration, and that's about it. 6 and 7 for marking and tackling is not ideal. Also, he's an inverted wing back, which basically just means he's a left back who's right-footed. So, yeah, that's essentially the extent of him. His mentals are garbage. He not even got good work rate and teamwork. Hopefully he doesn't play too much. I just wanted someone in there for depth, really. So the other player then is Lloyd Kinneard. It helps when you get your players' names right. And as you can see, he's a little bit better. He's a right back, no-nonsense fullback. Can also play as a fullback or a wing back if we need him to. But he has a bit better stats around the board. 9s on the main defensive stats, 12 teamwork, 11 work rate, 11 pace and 12 acceleration isn't too shabby either. I'm hoping he can do a decent job for us at right back this year. And yeah, I don't know. It's really difficult to get players when you don't have a scout and you have no idea how good anyone is. So we are on the day of the first game of the season, officially the end of the pre-season, but we aren't going to be bringing you this game against Edinburgh City today. That's going to be in tomorrow's video when we start showing actual matches. I'm just going to run you through the pre-season and the tactics before tomorrow so that we can just sort of get stuck straight in. So, as far as the pre-season went, this game against Darlington was the first one since we took over, and I didn't manage it. I've let our assistant do all the friendlies. So we won that one 1-0, it's not terrible, especially against a side that actually plays in a league, which these three down here don't. But then we had the Betfred Cup, which were games I took over, and the first two were against Scottish Championship sides. We got absolutely battered. 4-1 and 4-0. A late consolation goal by Jamie Todd was the only action we really saw. But from there, we played two Scottish League One sides, and still a division above us, we did manage to pull out 2 draws, one of which we won on penalties, and one of which we lost. So overall, that did put us 4th in the group, just above of Strenhousemere, and yeah, that was pretty much what the board wanted. They just said to be competitive, and I guess by not finishing bottom, we did that. So yeah, 3 goals scored in actual open play, and then an absolute bunch of penalties. I don't know if it shows you here, but you can probably see from this scored list here, it went on for ages. I think it finished 8-7. It did, it's up there. So yeah, it never ended. But it's not terrible. We did alright. We didn't look too bad, and we got to see a bit of the play, or I did anyway. You haven't seen them yet. But then we had 3 more friendlies again. I didn't take over them, but we won them all. So all by 2 goals, actually. So that's pretty decent. You can't take too much away from pre-season, but, you know, when it goes pretty well like that, it's better than it going badly. So with that said and done, let's go and take a look at the tactics that we've been playing through that quite successful pre-season. 3, 2, 1. So this is what we've been going with then. It's quite a counter-attacking, quite direct 4-4-2. And basically what I did was I tried to build the team or the tactics around the players that we've got rather than the other way around. I don't want to try and shoehorn players in when they already aren't very good. So essentially we have these 2 midfielders who were our 2 best midfielders by a decent distance, and they're both quite defensive. So we've got Ross Brown, who's one of the better players on the team, I think I highlighted him earlier as one of our better players who was out on that right wing, but we've put him in this central midfield role. He's more than happy to be a ball winner. And then we've got O'Kane, Declan O'Kane, who is, again, he wants to be a ball winner, but we've just been playing him as a central midfielder on defend, which he's equally as comfortable with. And with having the two defensive midfielders, it sort of made sense to go counter-attacking. And then both wingers are happy playing as actual wingers, so they're okay to get forward. Target man and a poacher up front. You might have noticed on the schedule that Darren Lavery had a hat-trick in one of our friendlies. He looks pretty decent, to be fair, as far as at this level goes. His physicals aren't dreadful, but the things that really stand out to me are the 12 finishing and 11 off the ball. For a poacher, those are quite good. So I'm hoping he can score quite a few for us this season. And then the highest rated players on the team are Loney Sedwin Scott, who is a target man, or a pressing forward. We're using him as a target man for now, but that can definitely change. Who just looks pretty decent all around, to be fair. He doesn't really stand out anywhere, but especially at this level, something like 10 finishing seems to be pretty good. And 11 heading, again, quite good. Good work rate, teamwork, and then his physicals are solid too. Decent strength, pace, acceleration, etc, etc. Only 19 as well, so I wonder if we can keep him around for a little bit. And then Paul Willis, one of our own, is our right winger. And again, he's just pretty solid all around. He doesn't really stand out anywhere aside from that 16 penalty taking, which is quite impressive. But I am hoping he can do a bit of work for us and hopefully, you know, show that he's one of our better players. So I'm not going to go through every player, otherwise we'll be here all day, and I think this video's already gone on quite a bit. But in general, we're quite a decent defensive team. I'll just sort of flash up the stats of everyone right now. So Sean Brennan, our goalkeeper, is fairly decent. He's got room to grow, but he's not fantastic yet. Liam Kinnaird, a player we bought in, we've already spoke about. Jack Cook, a centre-half. I'm not sure if he's our starting centre-half. I think we've got an injury, but he's not great, but he's not awful. He shouldn't make too many mistakes, I hope. Jamie Todd is actually our captain, one worth talking about. He looks like a relatively decent player, and he's been putting in some wonderful challenges in the Betfred Cup. Good pace and good tackling should hopefully see him be quite clutch for us. Decent decisions as well means he shouldn't make too many mistakes at the back. So hopefully we can get something out of him. And Kevin McKinley is another player we bought in. Obviously we didn't have any fullbacks, and he looks fine. He's another no-nonsense fullback, just like on the right-hand side here. And yeah, we've basically got a very defensive team with some decent attacking outlets, so the counter-attack sort of picked itself. But with all that said and done, I'm going to call an end to this video here. I think it's gone on long enough. It's been ongoing quite a while. So we will be back tomorrow for the game against Edinburgh City. We won't be showing that cup game against Edinburgh City. I'll be playing that off camera. But tomorrow we'll have the game against Edinburgh City in the league and Albion Rovers. So our aim is only to finish 9th. I think we can do this, but either way, I think this is going to be a really fun series. Videos are going up at 5:30 every day, as I said at the start of the video, so you can either check back then if you want to see more, or hit the subscribe button and it will appear in your feed. Thank you all very much for watching, and have a great night. So I just realised that several times throughout this video I referred to us as being in the 3rd tier of Scottish football. We aren't, we're in the 4th, so there's League 1, the Championship and the Premiership all above us. I didn't know, basically. I thought there were only 3. My mistake, just thought I'd make you all aware that I am now aware there are 4 tiers of Scottish football and we're in the bottom of those 4. Brilliant. We're even worse than I thought.